Hello everyone, Lawrence here from Unicorn Reviews with our final weekly tech and hardware show of 2017. I didn't do a show last week because there was just no news whatsoever, but this week was slightly more interesting, so let's have a look at the 5 most interesting releases. Before I get started on any of that stuff though, I want to remind everyone that the giveaway has ended. If your name is right here and you haven't had a message, there's 10 winners. 6 of them have already replied. The 4 of them that are highlighted in red still have to reply to their message, so go check your mailbox, your Instagram DMs or your YouTube DMs. Anyway, let's get started with the weekly tech and hardware show. Our first bit of news is from Fantex. It's about their Ento Pro lineup, which has expanded. So now there's a tempered glass version. I did a review on the Ento Pro acrylic window and I wasn't very positive about it because I just felt like it could be done better. And it looks like they did it. So this is now the tempered glass edition. It's still the same chassis, and there's also a new version of it, the special edition, which has this panda-like theme. And instead of giving it RGB fans, they're using their own Halos fan frames. So these are the RGB fan frames that you can use. They're the plastic models though, so yeah, it's not the aluminium more expensive version, which I guess I understand a little bit. But there are different versions now, or more different versions. I think there's like at least 10 different models of the Ento Pro, but it looks really interesting, and I really like to see this case for myself now. Now, Fantex didn't just release cases this week, they also have 2 new reservoirs. Now, you may know that I'm not really a water cooling guy myself, but it might be interesting to some of you, because it's a little bit different than the usual old bay reservoirs or like tube reservoirs. Fantex has the Glacier Series R16 and the R22 reservoirs. So these are acrylic reservoirs, but they're like rectangular shaped instead of round. I kind of really wonder how long it's going to take before someone does tempered glass reservoirs, because that would be super interesting. But what I really like about these is that they also have these aluminium backplates. So these are not just for mounting or for looks, they should also in theory help cool the liquid ever so slightly. I don't really know how much of an effect it has, but I kind of dig the look. It looks really like cool, industrial, a bit like heavy duty. Looks really good. So good job Fantex on these R16-0 and the 22-0 reservoirs, or the 160 and 220, whatever. Their pricing is also quite okay actually. 110 for the larger one, but yeah, you can expect that with like high-end water cooling stuff. So let's move on to case number 2. It's from Fractal Design. They finally updated the R5, which was only updated last year. But now there's an R6 version, and it looks like I'm not going to buy this one. I was a massive fan. I had the R3, I had the R4, I had the R5. I'm not going to get the R6. It's again a super long case. So unless you're doing a crazy water cooling setup, it's probably not going to be for you. Which is a shame, because the R4 and the R5, they were like really good air cooling silent cases. It keeps the same sort of styling, but now again, tempered glass side panel. It's a really fancy mechanism, so there are no more thumb screws or latches anywhere, so I kind of like that, but I don't know, it's just not my thing, the R6. I of course also had a look at other reviews, so Dimitri from Hardware Canucks did a really good video on this one, and it just seems a bit faulty in like things like the radiator mounts that he talked about. So it's probably a great case, but it's just not for me. Again, I just wanted to mention it. I think the R5 is going to be a better option for a lot of people, especially because of the price point. Tech Power Up has it listed at the bottom normally of their articles. There we go. It's 130 euros for the base model with like no window. Then you spend 150 for the tempered glass version. So that's really expensive for a Fractal R series case. They were always around 100 euros, now they're 150. Fractal also has a Type-C USB plate, which is again more expensive. Might be interesting though if you are a modder and you do scratch build cases, then maybe you can buy one of these. Would be a lot less expensive than buying stuff separately. And they also have a riser kit, which apparently also doesn't fit all that well. So yeah, it's interesting, but it's not for me. And again, if we look at the pricing on these, if you get the tempered glass model with the Type-C, and you also want to get the riser kit on there, you're looking at spending quite a lot of money. So yeah, I'm not too stoked on that. Talking about cases that are a lot smaller though, that only fit a single GPU, Zotac now has Thunderbolt GPU enclosures. Zotac of course makes a lot of really small high-end GPUs, so this is like right up their alley. So this is for, you know, ultrabook users who want like a dedicated graphics card for when they get home. But it looks super tiny. Just look at how small and cute this thing looks. It also seems to have really good cooling because, you know, of a mesh side panel, but there's not too much mesh going on, so it should still be sturdy. Looks like, you know, the AMP box is going to be a great product. And you can also put like NVMe SSDs in there, they say. No pricing yet though, so it's going to be interesting to see how much the Zotac AMP box is. But I mean, as long as Microsoft doesn't put Thunderbolt ports on their laptops, I can't use it anyway. And then our final news topic this week is a few monitors. Actually, there are multiple monitors from LG. Now, I don't know if I talked about it in previous episodes of the weekly Tech and Hardware Show, but there's now an HDR standard, and LG now has HDR 600 panels. So they have a 27-inch and a 34-inch model. They look quite similar to the previous ones. They finally have a height adjustable stand, which for LG is groundbreaking. But yeah, like I can diss them a little bit, but they really have good monitors. And then there's also the 34-inch one. Now just look at the resolutions on these things. So these are 5K ultra-wide monitors. They're going to be a nightmare to drive, but I kind of really want one. They'll be at CES, so hopefully someone else can do really good footage of CES, because I'm obviously not going. It's on the other side of the planet. So we're not going, but looks like some really interesting products that were released this week. So that was it for the weekly Tech and Hardware Show for 2017. We'll get back in the new year, probably with a bunch of CES coverage, or just talking about CES coverage. And yeah, for now, if you guys like this video, like button please, subscribe button, hit the little bell icon so you don't miss any videos. And if you want more frequent updates, there's of course Instagram and Twitter. If you want to really support the channel, like the awesome people on your screen right now, go check out that Patreon link. It really helps me out an awful lot. But for now, thank you very much for watching, and I'm going to start filming Friday's video, which is like a cool little subscriber update because of the giveaway and passing 10,000 subscribers, and obviously the new office. So stay tuned for that one.